Level 557, Snowglobe Survival Difficulty, Class 0 Safe, Secure, Devoid of Entities. Description: Level 557 is a small, snowy patch of land permeated by varying kinds of human-made landmarks. The geography of Level 557 is completely flat, possessing no rises in elevation besides occasional dry stone walls that mark out patches of snowed-over, plowed farmland. Though Level 557 possesses trees, their distribution and shapes of their plots of land suggest these are instead orchards, or were planted to divide farmlands like the walls. Despite Level 557 being completely flat and relatively small, it is impossible to see more than a dozen meters ahead due to a constant and thick mist which coats the landscape. It inhibits a great deal of sight, especially within dense orchards. Due to a complete lack of wind, this mist stays completely stagnant and appears uniform, and periodically generates thick, chunky snow that slowly falls almost weightlessly from high up in the level sky. Presumably due to a lack of blowing wind, Level 557's air feels unusually thick and weighty, having almost a viscous property to it. Whilst not immediately noticeable to many, a sensation almost akin to wading through thick snow gradually becomes more noticeable the longer one exists inside the level. The noticing of the thick air is usually quickened if one is caught in the periodical snow showers, as individuals quickly notice the obscure properties of the snow itself. The chunks of snow are large and paper-thin, and seemingly cause the symptoms of motion sickness when they fall. Upon reaching the ground, however, these odd pieces of snow melt into the uniform layer of snow, losing their odd appearance. The perimeter of Level 557, being one that is easily reached even after just minutes of walking, is noticeable from its incredibly hazy, glassy appearance. It encompasses Level 557 in a circular shape, and notably has a substantial decline in elevation and a lack of trees surrounding it. When in this perimeter trench, the fog makes it incredibly difficult to see, and people often bump into the glass-like perimeter. This perimeter continues far upwards and out of view, potentially carving into a dome shape from the few times the fog has cleared enough to see higher than one usually can. Due to containing no natural food or water, and being a place too small and unsubstantial for habitation, there are no bases, communities, or outposts on Level 557. However, there is one singular structure inside of it, in the form of an old World War II-era pillbox. It is located right in the center of the level, and is built out of weathered and old concrete. From the exterior, it is extremely plain, having basic and small window slats on 5 of its 6 faces. On one of its faces, specifically one obscured by a tree, is a small staircase embedded into the snow used to enter it. Inside the pillbox is an ultimately unremarkable interior, with just yet more snow in the same drab concrete walls. Oddly enough, the few features expected of pillboxes are not present inside of Level 557's, and there is no obvious origin for the snow due to the pillbox being completely enclosed. Entrances and exits. Entrances entering Level 557 is relatively easy, with a small handful of 5 entrances. Whilst said levels are rarely used, the entrances themselves are relatively easy to spot and utilize. The entrances come in the form of a circular, wooden pad elevated off of the floor, usually in open areas. Usually, these appear in Level 9.5, Level 57, Level 115, Level 474, and Level 699, and can be activated just by standing on them. When someone does, they will be teleported into Level 557. Exits. Unlike exiting Level 557 is a relatively more difficult to find out process. The only exits are at the perimeters of the level, and can be used by not clipping into the odd reflective border. Usually, this can be easily done by just pressing into it, as not clipping into it is practically guaranteed when doing so. Not clipping usually leads to Level 195, Level 365, or Level 725.